No. Right, okay. Come in front. Right. My name's Carl.
My name's Mon.
This is Carter.
And this is Bella.
Welcome to Positively Crafter. Well, today is the day that I've not been looking forward to, but it needs to be done. Time to get the headlining down. Once we get that headlining down, we can then get the additional lights fitted to the side of the van. We can get the dash cam in, and we can insulate and sound deaden it. So yeah, let's get on and get that done. It's going to be a long one. Got the engine running at the moment. One thing you'll find with these latest crafters 2025 onwards is there are all sorts of sensors that are running as soon as you unlock them, and it tends to put a drain on the battery. So once the leisure battery's up and working fully on this, it won't be an issue because that will be used to top it up. That's the plan. So the B2B was working yesterday. There's still some, but as long as you're aware of it and you don't get caught out like I have done a couple of times, you go to start the van and it won't start. So hence that's why the engine's running in the background. So I'm going to try my best to give you a good idea of what's involved with taking down the headlining. So yeah, let's get on with it. Okay, the tools we're going to need for today. We've got the trim tools. There's a pack of 8 to those. We've got a electrical screwdriver. We've got X keys there, and we've got the hex bits here as well. Torx bits, various different sizes there to fit in the in there. And we've got this laser pointer that'll be quite good for just pointing out where the bolts are that we're removing, just so you can see them on the video. Video removing this headlining is not straightforward, I don't think. So yeah, hopefully this will help just point out what bolts go where, and if nothing else, it'll act as a reminder for myself as well when I get to put it back together. So yeah, I always think photographing or videoing it is quite good. That way you can end up putting stuff back and not having any bolts left over at the end of it with a bit of luck. So yeah, let's crack on. Oh, and how could I forget the single most important tool? So we have these laser thin nose pliers, which are needed to remove the sun visor clips, which apparently are a right pain in the butt if you don't have one of these. So okay, so let's see how we get on with removing this headlining. I'll start off by popping these out, just with the trim tool in there. That pops out dead easy, and the same on the passenger side. Right, so now that panel's out up there. There you've got a T30 bolt, so we've got one of those each side to take out. It's the first T30 out, and another. So we're going to pop these out. One. 2. Once that's done, this should pop out like so. Now that's done, we need to get a trim tool in here and remove this panel off the front. And that's the engine running. The battery's pretty low at the minute, so I'm just having to have that running, and this is not the easiest with one hand. Swap hands a second. Let's catch it on there. There we go. Okay, and we've got a plug on there by the looks of it. And let's have a look. Oh, we've got a USB up there. I never knew that. I never knew we had a USB up there all that time. A USB-C there. Oh, well, you live and learn. I'll have to check that out. So I'll turn this around, and this is our USB-C. That just pulls out there. Looks like a cable tie there. Sorry, I've got sun right in my eyes. Yeah, so we've got cable tie there. I need to go and get a pair of cutters just to cut that off, and then this panel will come down. Just got a pair of cutters on that to snip that. There we go. Yeah, I can just replace that. That'll just pull out. We just need to put a little cable tie back into that after when we put the roof back together. Let's come out. We're gonna have a look up here at these handles, see what we've got here. So we've got some trim tool in that one, and have a look there. And a trim tool there. Go with this trim tool. Okay, in there. So in there we've got a what looks like a T30 again. Just check that. That is indeed. That's another T30. So that's a longer bolt than the others that we've already taken out. Just for comparison. So there's the T30s that came out. So the darker ones are the T30s that came out from up here by the sun visor, and the longer ones are what came out from these handles up here. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. And then we got these over here. Let's have a look. Oh, they look like some of the dreaded clips. He said. Let me just get a torch in there and have a quick look. Yeah, they definitely look like some of the clips that they all talk about. That's why we've got the thin lug nose pliers. Just take those clips off for now, and then I'll get ready to get those out once we've got other stuff undone here. As this is a 2025 crafter, they've changed the headlining on this, so some of the other tutorials that you can see online are not relevant to this particular model. So you've got the trim out from that side as well. Now where's next? Okay, let's have a look at these sun visor trims here. We get a trim tool in there, just under that lip, and pop. I think they should just potentially come out. So they've been held in place by the actual visor itself. Ah, they're on a clip. Okay. They're on a little. You can get them out. There is like a retaining clip that fits in there, but you can just pull them out. And they do the same on the other side. We've got the second one down, and you can see that little retaining clip there. Just up there. That should. Sort of holds it in, but you can actually. I'm going to leave that one in actually. The other one came out, but I'm just going to leave that one hanging for the time being. Not a T30, something a bit smaller. Let's see what that is. Stand corrected, it is a T30. So everything's been T30 so far. And just to compare these two other bolts that were taken out, so they're the same size as some of the other black bolts that have come out from the headlining. Okay, passenger side. Passenger side done. If we look up here, we can see the dreaded clips that everybody says are a nightmare to remove. So let's work out how we get those out. Up there, where you can see those. So there's one there, and one there. Okay, let's have a look at these clips on the grab handles. So we're going to push the pliers in. No easy way to film this, but let's see where these go. Put a torch on there. I'll have a head torch on and have a look. That's marginally easier. So it looks like there are a couple of where these thin nose pliers go in. There are a couple of areas that those pliers can push in. So let's open them out first. Push them in. Squeeze. Oh yes, come on. Right. That was not too bad. Let's hope the sun visor ones are equally as good. It looks identical both ways. So it came out that way. There's no, can't see if there's any marks on that, just to differentiate one way or the other. Keep the pliers stuck. In this instance, there's a number 2 on this one on the driver's side, and that's upside down. Oh, and it actually says RH. Is it RH or RH? I think it says there. As I look across over to this one, there's something on that as well. I think that says number 1, possibly. I'll get that out and have a closer look at it in a second. And there's that trim tool I'd lost. Down there, so we'll get these clips out next. Get the let's get the passenger side clip out. Pliers in again. Hopefully you can see that there. The camera's in the way. Maybe squeeze. No, we've not got them in properly yet. So you have to open the pliers out. Keep them opened out. And then it looks like there you're going underneath a clip. Like so, and then you squeeze it. Now, let me swap hands. Camera. They're definitely the biggest faff. Still fanning around with this one. Let's put the torch over there a little, see if we can see what we're doing. So you can see there is a section in there that you need to get the pliers under. And I'm gonna have to stop this because I don't have enough hands, I'm afraid. Bizarre. Driver's side one came out straight away. This passenger one up here is being a right pain in the butt. Every time I get the clips on there and try to pull it out, it just slips off. So yeah, I foolishly thought I got the hang of it. It's just going to be one of those things that takes time, unfortunately. So yeah, I'll keep persevering with it, and I'll let you know how long in total it takes me to get it out. Okay, it's half out, but still it's being gripped. So it's nearly there. The trouble I've got here is I don't want to, I'm just going to have to jam something in there just to make sure that that doesn't go back in while I'm putting the pliers back in again, because I'll not be impressed. So let's keep persevering with it. I'm going to hold this one on here, trying to stop it from slipping back in while I get the pliers in there on that. Oh actually, oh there you go. It just popped out. So once you get the first bit out, it looks like it's yeah, and that came out, and that's got LH on the other side, and it came out as it looks there. So they are clearly labelled left hand, right hand. Okay, left hand, right hand. So this is the left hand one. Okay, so they're done. Onwards. Before we tackle the sun visors themselves, we're going to have to get this centre console off here. It does look like you can get trim tools in here, and whether it's going to come off in one bit or numerous bits, that's definitely looks like it's going to be removable. This possibly, this bit here possibly, so we're going to get a trim tool behind there, see whether that'll pop off, or do we go for the big one? Go for this, the bigger panel out of the two first. That's definitely coming down. This is not easy to do one-handed. Looks like that other panel is possibly stopping this actually. So I'm not going to force that anymore for now. Let's see whether we can get this other panel off here first. This black one. And the driver's seat again now. Let's have a look. So I'm not so sure about that centre one. That doesn't seem to want to come out that easy. So I'll pop this off and have a look, see what, when this comes out, see if that gives us any clues as to what's going on. This seems to be popping out, not too bad. Two hands needed again. Not so sure. Also conscious of these up here as well. There's a raft of bolts up here, which I'm not entirely sure whether they will also need to come out. We've got bolts all the way up here. So does this come down in one whole panel? Actually, you're not going to get anything into those there, are you? Clearly some of this has got to come off. Okay, let's keep persevering with it. I'm sure we'll get there. I popped this outer section back in because it looked like it was being prevented from coming out by this section here. So this has got to come out first. So I'm going to get some trim tools underneath here and see whether we can get this out. It's got to come out. I'm convinced that's got to come out. Yeah, applied a little bit of pressure to this and the whole thing came flying down. So that's out, and that would explain access to those other bolts up there as well. So we just need to work out how to unclip this, and we can take this down out of the way. So have a quick look, see what we've got. Okay, it looks like we've got a lever here, and as we lift that, that's pulling that clip out. I think that clip will now come out. Let's try that. Okay, that plugs out. So that lever that lever was over the top of this lever here, was over there. Push it out and it releases the cable out, and this just looks like a push fit cable here. Let's get that one out. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like there might be a little small retaining clip there, possibly. I've give it a quick tug. It doesn't seem to want to come out. I'll unclip this, which is just holding by the two clips there. And the hope is that I'll be able to get a grip on this plug now and pull it out. Let's give it a go. I can't actually work out how to. Get that out, to be fair. So I'm going to leave it hanging for the time being and carry on with the rest of it. I'm guessing at some point it's going to need to come out because it's got to pass through there. But let's give it a go. Let's see how we get on. So as we look at the top again, what have we got up here? So 3 bolts up here, possibly a 4th up the top there. Let's get these 3 out first. 3 out from here. There's a couple of screws here, a couple of little small torques on that there, and that looks like this other surround may well then come out. Let's get those removed. So we've got 2 T10 bolts, one each side, and a little clip there, and I think that is possibly all that's holding this centre console in. I did have that nearly out, to be fair, but I'm glad I just didn't brute force it and break anything. So we'll get those out, take those little clips off just over there, one of those each side, and then let's get the trim tool in there again and see whether we can get that trim out. Right, I managed to get the screwdriver in there on that one. Okay, pop that off. Pop those 2 off there. Now I think it should just be a case of getting the trim tool underneath this, like so, and that should now fall out. Okay, we can just take that over the top and get that out. Still can't get that plug out, so I'm going to leave that for now. Okay, 3 more T30s to remove. One there, and one there. Okay, right, what are we looking now? Right, so we have got to get some clips out, so that's looking pretty loose. Let's have a quick look at the top here. Definitely something up here holding it still, so I suspect there's some hidden screws we're yet to find there. Everything's loose there, so let's have a quick look underneath again. Okay, I sussed out what it is. So there's 2 clips there, one there, one clip there. There's 2 clips, so one of them is there, and the other is just there. So let's press those in, see what happens. Okay, that's fairly loose. So we're definitely being held up by the clips up above the sun visors. Let's see if there's anything else holding us up. I think we're pretty close. I can't see anything else there. That actually looks clear. So we're now looking at these. We're now going to be looking at these clips for the sun visors, the dreaded clips. Okay, so I've got those pliers in. I think I've got a grip of something. I'm just going to pull it and see whether it comes out. Ah, you bugger. Okay, we have one out. Well, you can see that there. Let's have a look. You can see where those pliers go into there and just squeeze those right there. If you just look where that finger is, you can see inside there, if that camera's focusing, where the pliers are actually just moving those clips. So that's the that's the sun visor side out, which is good. That wasn't too bad. It took me probably about 15 minutes in total to get that one out. Let's have a look at the other one, see if we can get the other one out equally as quick. What I would say with regards to these clips, when you've managed to get one of them out, make sure you get a trim tool in there, or it's slightly loose. You can feel the actual panel drop down. They do want to try and force their way back in, so make sure you get a trim tool underneath it, just to prevent it from falling back in, and then you can get the other side off then. And now we have the passenger side out. So opening the passenger side door and getting outside the van was definitely the way forward for that. Just basically it's really painful on your neck looking up at that angle all the time, but getting down from the bottom, getting out through the passenger side door and looking up is not so bad. And yeah, I managed to get that one off within a couple of minutes of jumping outside the van actually. So yeah, good stuff. Okay, I think what we are left with now is, for this section up here, is possibly these two clips, because this looks incredibly loose. So hopefully I'll pop these two clips off shortly and this whole thing will fall down. Well, not fall down, try and catch it obviously, but yeah, let's give it a go. Two clips. Yeah, I'm probably going to, yeah, I need to catch this. This is going to come down, I think. There we go. I just literally pop them out. Is there something holding it? Feels like there is. What is it? What is it? What is it? There is. Looks like a bloody cable tie up there. Looks like there's a cable tie on that wiring loom. Yeah, there's a cable tie on that wiring loom, so I'm going to have to pop this back up, cut that cable tie, and then this should come down then. You see that little cable tie up there, just holding that down just there? Actually, that cable tie looks like it might be on a clip up there. So we may be able to just clip that off from the panel rather than cutting it, because it's quite tight up there getting to that. So let's see whether we can get that little clip off up there. I'm going to need two hands for this, so I won't be able to record it, but I'll let you know. Okay, so it looked like I would be able to get that clip off, but yeah, I couldn't. So I've carefully cut the cable tie, and now, in theory, this should all drop down. What I do want to do though is see if I can work out how to get this unplugged, because then if this can unplug, then the whole thing can be put in the back of the van. Okay, whilst I didn't catch this on camera because it was quite awkward, I just got my Monomer to come out and hold the console that was here with it, and then I just basically held the other connector block and got the pliers on this and just basically brute forced it out. So we're now at the stage of starting to look at the liner itself. So it looks like we've got a couple of things here that are holding the liner in up there, so we need to get them out, and then we need to work out what else is holding it in here. And we are basically going to insulate up here and sound deaden where if it hasn't been done by VW that well, then we're going to put some closed cell foam up there, and then we're going to fleece it, and then once that's done, we can get the cables in for the dash cam, get the side lights on that are going up there, and then we can start putting stuff back together. With regards to these clips, just get a trim tool, push it around the back and get it underneath, and then just leverage them out and make them out okay. Oh, man down, we have an injury. Just noticed there's a bit of blood on up there. There we go. Okay. Right, so that's loose there, so it's obviously been held in by these, so I'm guessing the handles are going to have to come off, and probably it's tucked under the door trim as well, I guess. Okay, let's get it from behind these door trims over here next. So once I'd got this connector out here, that was the only thing preventing this whole unit from coming down, so it's just a case of squeezing these two clips together, lifting out the whole lining, and away we go. There's the two there that we spoke about. So now I think we may be able to lift it out from the back of the van. So let's go into the back and have a look. So if you get your hand down here, I've done it on the passenger side here. What I'll do is I'll show you on the driver's side, but it looks like that. This tucks up into, goes up between the crease and the rubber down there. So literally I got a hand down there. You can see it's coming out of that little rubber recess there. I do the side down this, do the same down this side. So then you just pull this out and it comes out of that rubber seal there. It tucks back into that there. And that's clear all the way down there now. And possibly it's a case of just pushing this forward now. We may need to still get it out of those front sections there. Let's have a look. Okay, let's give it a go. I'm just going to push these forward here. Is it a pull or a push? It's a push. Okay. I think you might be catching on those door trims over there. Might need to get those out. Let's have a look. There's no need to remove the door trims. Literally all you do with this is you push it forward like so and it unclips. What's catching that? That's one. It's just literally tucked into the front there. That's two. And we should. What's stopping that from coming down? Oh right, it's up here. Shit. Shit. Didn't see those wires. Bear with me. Two additional wires up here that need to be unplugged. It's this one, because that's obviously going around the front of the headliner there. So that's got to come out. And also this one. And just wiggle that out. That looks like it's coming. Okay. So that's that one out. And now we got this big bugger. Do I need to remove it any more than that? I'm thinking there's numerous connectors there and I'm not entirely sure how that comes out. I'm wondering whether I can actually do what I need to do whilst that's in that position, to be fair. Let's have a quick look in the back. What this is supposed to do, but we need to get some more sound deadening in here and we need to put some proper insulation in here as well. And I can reach most of the way down there. It'd be nice to get those cables out if I'm honest. Let me see if I can work out how to get them cables out. I'd like to be able to get in there and do this all in one go if possible, rather than working around this liner. So let's have a look. Another cable off there, and again it's just a case of pushing pushing a pin down. More case of just pushing that pin down up there. That's that one off, that goes over. So the last one is this one here, which is a big old cable. I'm not entirely sure how that comes out at the minute, but we'll have a look at it. So rather than trying to remove this cable here, what you'll see up here are, it slides in on these black bits at the top. And then there are two silver clips there that these arms here go into. Right, so those bits where the short torch is shining now, clip into there. Go into those runners there, and these blue and these other bits here, these bits with the where the torch is shining now, those go into these clips here, and the whole thing slides out. Okay, so now there's nothing to stop the headliner from being completely removed. So I'm just going to pass these over the top for now. Not the easiest thing to do while you're trying to record it at the same time, but the headlining is out. Headlining is now out, and we've got clear access to this, which is better. We can do all this in one go. That's interesting. We've got lights to fit there somewhere. Okay, this is, I don't know what this is doing really, but not a lot looking at it. So I'm going to take this out and put some proper stuff in here. Just be warned, getting this sticky back stuff off is going to take probably as long as, yeah, getting the roof lining out completely, to be fair. Right, so I've got as much of that stuff off as I can. It's just doing my heading, so It's just furry and horrible. So I've got a couple of additional sound deadening panels up there. I'll have another quick look, see if there's any of that furry stuff I can get off, and then failing that I'm just going to go and start putting some closed cell foam on top of it. Just a quick progress update. So we're just lining this roof, another piece in here, and then 2 bits to just finish it off. And then there's a tiny little bit that we need to do just down the front in between those 2 bits there. Okay, it's time to start putting things back together. I'll just pan around and show you what we've got. We've fully fleeced and lined the cab area now. We've tested these lights. We've also got lights fitted on the front now as well. So we have lights there as we had on the back. Can't see the back. So I've got monomer to come out, and we tested both of those are working. So it's a case of trying to put this back together now. These clips up here, rather than trying to get the cab to slide onto these, I think if you twist them and take them out and then slide them onto the cab lining first, then in theory you should be able to push them back up and they should click in twice like that. So didn't see that, did you? Oh, right. So with these cab clips, you slide the lining off this, but when it comes to putting them back on, I'm going to slide them into the cab, and then I'm going to push them up and lock them in twice like so. I think that's going to be the better way of getting it in. And then it's just a case of then teasing the cab lining round all of these individual sections here. So I don't know how easy this is going to be. We've got loads of wires there. We've got cables over here for the dash cam. So we've got the link to the rear cable there. We've got the power cable there, which we still need to terminate down the remote end. And we're just going to tuck these cables up here. What I may also do quickly is just put some conduit up above the roof lining, just to get us to sort of from this area here across and back up to this area here, so that if we do need to run any additional cables in, there's a draw wire in there for that. So get that done quickly, and then let's try and get this lining back in. Morning. Nice sunny day this morning, long may it last. So I had an absolute shocker yesterday. I just could not get 2 of the bolts back in on the bulkhead. One of them was up here on the passenger side, and the other one was up here, albeit on the driver's side. And I tried everything to get them in, and it just felt like they were cross-threading all the time. I must have spent over an hour trying to get them in. I absolutely did my head in. And I guess it just proves that sometimes you're just better to just walk away from it when you're having a bit of a shocker, and come back the following day and hopefully everything will be better, because yeah, it's taken me 5 minutes to get them both in this morning. Don't think I'm doing anything any different, but I'll take it. I'll take your small wins. So I'm over the moon that we got them done. So that's everything's all back together here now on the cab. Good morning. Regular watchers of the channel will know I've had a few issues with this van, with the battery going flat. Happened again the other day, and we had VW Assist out yesterday, and there's actually a software update apparently which takes 90 minutes to do. Can't be done on the side of the road, so you've got to get it booked in with a dealer. So it's booked back in with the dealer, but they want the vehicle for 2 days. So one of the fixes, amongst others, is when you open the door, it starts off a load of pumps pumping stuff around the engine, and that puts excessive drain on the battery that's not required. You can actually hear it going now, actually. Still pumping stuff around now. So yeah, it's got to go in. So it's booked in for midway through next month to get that work done. So we just have to keep monitoring the battery for now. And we've got electrics in, so we can put it on hookup, and hopefully we'll have the components for the roof rack, and we can get the solar up as well. So okay, that's it for this episode. If you're new here, please look to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when we next release a video. If you like what we're doing, give us a thumbs up. And if you've got any comments for us, always like reading your comments, and like to respond to those as well. So all that remains to be said for the time being is that's it for now. Take care. See you soon. Bye.